Well, we're back over here at LMS BMW. They've had this white E65 here for a while. That thing's a disaster. And I don't know, a sterling gray 528 or something. But I received the other vent hose today. And this thing is just made of kinks. And I had to design that to fit one very specific way. But it's here, so I'm gonna go in and drop that off. Good morning. I don't remember where we left off, but it's 12:42. Kenan left. He came over to watch the basketball game tonight. We did that, and then headed downstairs for a little bit, hung out. Earlier today was exceedingly productive. I did a bunch of little stuff. These tires are pretty much ready to be put on the Aveo. I unpackaged them, got the invoice ready. I received the extra vent pipe that's going to LMS to put in the car. I took that over there. They have my M5 completely done, minus that. The fuel pump, or the fuel tank's put back in, the pumps on the tank, all the lines are in, drive shaft and exhaust are back on the car. So really it's just waiting on the front vent line and some of the hardware, and then it's done. So I should have it tomorrow. I picked up all the old parts. I filmed the old parts for the E39 source video. These are the only ones I still have right now. I still have the Venturi transfer line, which really looks quite good, and I'm not sure how this would go bad aside from cracking plastic. This feels pretty good. I'll probably hang on to this for the time being. I have the old fuel pump. This was installed in 2003 at 30-some thousand miles. We're now at 196,000 miles, and it looks surprisingly good. The pump itself looks good. The siphon is pretty clean. I might hang on to that. I mean, who would want this though? This is a 160,000 mile fuel pump, but it's also a $430 fuel pump. It's small enough I might just hang on to it in case somebody needs a housing or something. And then I have my original drive shaft. So this thing has 160 or 196, almost 197,000 miles. And we'll get a look at the condition. It's a cheetah. There's a lot of rust on this end. The U-joint is what's developed play, and that's quite rusty as well, if you can see in there. If nothing else, it's worth something as a core. Usually you get $100, $150, $200, $250 off buying a new one if you send them another one, so it has value there. And it also has value in scrap metal. This is pretty heavy metal. I'm assuming it's steel. So it has a little bit of value on that aspect. Otherwise, it means nothing to me as long as my new one works. And then I have my warning triangle that I will put back in my car tomorrow, should I get it. When they took down the center exhaust brace and the chassis braces, the M5 got chassis braces, none of the other 5 Series did. There's 4 screws that hold those in, or 4 bolts, and one of them, it's been quite a while, sheared right off. So they had to drill it out, and then I don't know if he time serted it or was able to get the old broken stud out, but he replaced the bolts on that. So now I have all 4 of those, and I have an extra one. So that's what's going on with the car. Spent a little bit of time on the 3 Series today on the wheels. I'm embarrassed to admit I have not cleaned these wheels since, I'm guessing, March. So it has been a long time. And I sat down and I was on the phone and I just went around and I did all of them. And they're silver again. They were almost black for a long time. I haven't washed this car since maybe April or May. The front ones were really bad. And they need to be like waxed or something again because it gets all this yellowing and pitting from the brake dust sitting on there. And if you take wax to it and a little bit of pressure, they clean up pretty well. Not perfectly, but better than they are. Obviously this is some damage in the clear coat or the finish of the wheel that would have to be refinished to be repaired, but otherwise that's a pretty nice wheel. This one up here was totally covered in grease when that axle failed back in May or June. Actually, I guess it was August because I was in Las Vegas when I set that up. And we were in Vegas the 13th through the 16th. This one had grease all over it from the axle boot. So that came off really well. There's a little bit of curbing here from previous owners, but it certainly looks a lot better than it did. And this is the problem corner of the car. You can see all the body corrosion here in that fender. It's pretty horrible. When I got this car, there were like 2 tiny little bubbles right here, and the rest of it was solid as hell. It's all rust. In fact, if you can you see that? I mean, that's bad. This is probably to the point where it would have to be cut out and fresh material would have to be welded in all the way up to here. This is the part of the car that was wrecked in like 2008. This whole fender liner here is peeling all the way down to here. That's why this car is worth nothing. The only offers I've gotten on this car are around $500 for a perfect, I mean, mechanically nearly perfect. The sunroof won't go back anymore. It only tilts up, but that's really the only mechanical problem. Gear lean, all the 5 speeds have gear lean. Steering wheel is from a like Phoenix M3, so it's all cracked and the leather's not pretty anymore, but it is an M wheel. So that sucks. That's all pieces of body. I was reaching up in here and it's still fairly solid. It is repairable, I think, but it isn't worth anything. If I were to spend $3,000 on rust maintenance, it's still like a $3,000 car. So it's depressing. It's sad, but that's also why I bought this car. I bought this car to keep the M5 out of the snow, and I've been successful in doing that. The M5 has not seen one snowflake since I've owned this car. And if this car has to be scrapped for nothing in order to save the M5, then that's the way it goes. So, sad, but that's it. This here, that wasn't even there a year ago. That's all bubbling. It's just depressing. And everywhere you walk around it used to be perfect a couple years ago, is pretty well destroyed now. Even down here, that's starting. The door seams. Oh man, this one, I didn't even notice this one until a couple of weeks ago. That's all screwed up. So that's like $300 or $400 right there to fix that door seam. Front fenders are good. The fenders are fine, but even the hood, not even the hood spared. Depressing. Otherwise today I dropped off the old modem. The new stuff's working great. I had to send the old modem back to Spectrum. It was at LMS for a while, and I hit the bank and the gas station and crap like that. So I'm gonna go in and go to bed. Tomorrow's Thursday. I really have no idea what's going on. I might get the M5 back tomorrow, which would be great. Drive it, stress test it, put some miles on it, see how the fuel system's working, and go from there. But I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on Thursday. Good night.